refuse to sacrifice the ones you hold close.
I rewatched some of our last few interviews to make sure I don't repeat any questions, because we've talked about a lot.
20 years you and me have been talking.
We've talked about a lot of different things, and I you know what I mean. Anyway, so I've been asking this of a lot of people recently, and I'm going to ask it of you. Do you have a favorite Stanley Kubrick movie?
I would probably say The Shining. That's the one that jumps to my mind straight away. I love that movie. It's such a clever film. It's a horror film that takes place entirely in light. There are no dark corners in The Shining. It's just all there for you to see. And I think it's a masterpiece of tension and weirdness. And I know Stephen King doesn't like it, and I get why, but I think as a movie, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I have to correct you though. The proper answer for the best Stanley Kubrick movie is all of them.
Okay.
I just want to throw that out there. How long did you know that Nick was cast as Hagrid before The World?
A long time. He called me when it sort of happened and swore me to secrecy. I immediately went and told my wife because I just couldn't hold it in. But I swore her to secrecy. It's okay. She's a cul-de-sac of information. It's fine. But yeah, I knew for a while, and I was just waiting for it to be announced.
Have you mentioned to Nick, I also live in London or in the UK. I might also would like to be a part of the show.
I don't know. I've just got out of a 20-year job, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to take on an 8-year one, even though that's considerably shorter. Not that I haven't enjoyed these 20 years of Mission Impossible, but, I'm quite enjoying the uncertainty of the future at the moment.
Sure. It's also like, it's going to be like a 7 or 8 season show.
Yeah.
But that's going to be filmed over 20 years or like I don't know how they're going to do it.
I know.
Because the kids are going to be like 40 by the last, I don't know how they're doing this.
I know.
So another thing, obviously we've talked about Star Wars about, I'd say 1,000 times. I don't know if I've ever asked you, Star Wars or Empire, which is like the one, which is like the fave, which is the one that you think is the better movie?
I think Empire is probably a better movie, probably. But maybe that's only because of what it's built on. I would say, ultimately, I'd always go for the first one, just because it's what started it all. It's what propelled that story into decades of kind of interest from people in various, different guises and various different levels of quality.
So I've always given the prequels a little shit, even though people that I know that are younger that grew up with the prequels love them. But I have to say in the last few months, I'm beginning to think George Lucas is Nostradamus in terms of the prequels dealing with trade wars and tariffs and there's something that's going on. I'm like, wait, didn't we see this in the prequels? Did Trump watch these? What am I?
It hadn't occurred to me. No, I haven't revisited those films.
With good reason. But now let's talk about what I think is the best Star Wars since 1980, which is Andor.
Right.
Have you watched?
I haven't watched.
For the love of God, how do you live with yourself?
I can't, I honestly, I don't know. I feel like after I was in The Force Awakens and I was on the set, and that experience of being in Star Wars, of being around the props and it kind of felt like the climax of my Star Wars life in a way. And I haven't really indulged in Star Wars since.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm 55.
Listen, I get it.
Although I get Andor, I hear Andor is very grown up. And I think people are always saying, oh, Star Wars is the same thing over and over again. And I like that they've done something different. For me, Star Wars is about my childhood. And I don't really want to see a gritty sort of adult Star Wars. It doesn't interest me. I've heard that it's great. And I love that they've done it. Tony Gilroy, what a creator. But I don't know. It's just not for me anymore.
I'm saying to you, as if you take the Star Wars out of it, it's fucking jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to take place. There's no Jedi. There's no light. I can only say I recommend it strongly.
Okay. Maybe I'll dip back in.
I swear it's worth it. The last thing IMDb gives you credit for as a writer is au revoir, Chris Hemsworth.
Correct.
Are you currently writing anything?
I am writing something. Au revoir, Chris Hemsworth, for those of you who don't know, was a small 3-minute French New Wave movie I made with Pom Klementieff in Venice while we were having a break on Mission Impossible. It was part of their fantasy football league. It was a diss video about Chris Hemsworth. It's amazing. It's on YouTube. Check it out. I've adapted a book, which I have loved for a long time, which I hope to direct. I can't really say any more than that because I don't want to jinx it. Nothing's been, officially announced, but that's the last thing I wrote.
Is this something you might do this year or next year?
Soon, hopefully.
So that's like the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have so many follow-ups, but I won't pressure you. Everyone, when I told the Collider staff that I would be talking to you, and I know you get this all the time, but it's going to come from me again.
Yeah.
They're just screaming at me, Simon, Nick, Edgar, what's the next genre that you guys do? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, Edgar's, obviously he's posting The Running Man at the moment. I'm thinking we might get some time in the near future to sit down and hash something out. Nick's going to be a problem because he's going to be busy for the next 7 or 8 years. But Edgar and I talk about it all the time. I'm seeing Edgar tonight, actually, so maybe we'll have another chat.
Listen, you really need to make this happen. I'm saying so you've been working on Mission, you touched on it. With Mission 3, it's been basically 20 years.
It has.
And it really does seem like this could be the end. Like this might be the last Mission movie. In fact, it probably is. What the hell is it like for you to have such an enormous chapter of your life actually coming to a close?
It's strange and, there's a great, it's bittersweet. That's the best way I can describe it. You and I met for the first time just before I was cast in Mission Impossible 3. And I shot my first scene in that film 20 years ago this November. And here I am now, promoting the final chapter. And it's been such a ride. It's been such an amazing experience. And I feel grateful and I feel sad. And, I'm excited for people to see this movie. I mean, what an incredible sort of wrapping up. McHugh has done such an incredible job in embracing everything that's gone before and pulling it into this movie as the kind of culmination of all Ethan's choices. I don't think there could be a better way to go out.
I am so curious, though, because one of the things about these missions, these movies, is that they're filmed over this film and the one before. You guys were filming for 5 years or something crazy.
Yeah, 5 years.
And there's an element of how does that work on your schedule? Is it possible with in advance you're going to be filming for 6 months, or is it you can't take another job because you could be filming in 2 months, you don't know when?
Yeah, you're on first call basically once you're. And of course, we were waylaid by certain, global events, and what was supposed to be maybe a 2 to 3 year job ballooned into a 5-year job. That's just the way things turned out. I was able to go off and I did a little independent movie. I did a television series. I did some voice work. I was able to get away and do bits and bobs. It wasn't just Mission for that time, which was, a relief.
One of the things about Tom is that it's just he has so much energy and he's so inspiring. So I'm just curious, what did you end up doing while making the Mission movies that you in a million years never thought you were going to go do?
I drove a speedboat up the River Seine, which was so much fun. They basically closed the River Seine for me. I drove a water taxi. There's a lot of aqua. In fact, it's all water related. I drove a water taxi through Venice, and I rescued, or rather retrieved, Shaun Harris from a submerged armored car wearing a rebreather, which is it's different to scuba. So, I mean, every day on Mission is like that, bombing through Casablanca in a, battered BMW, being up there on the mountain watching Tom do that stunt where he jumped off a cliff. I mean, it's one of those jobs.